What is going on, Kingdom? So today I'm sitting here, I'm on the camera, I'm just here to speak about something that I think is incredibly important for us as Christians to understand today, right? And it's something that I want to talk about. It's a this is going to be a very, not a very popular message to speak, because it's something that I do not see very much just on, maybe even in churches or on, Christian YouTube specifically. Pretty much is something that I I want to speak this message today, and I want to make it not too long, but I just know that this is incredibly important, and I am outside right now. It looks very, very nice out here. It feels very, very nice out here, so, I'm just ready to speak out this message today and put it out there for you. So just hear me out, okay? Because some people may disagree with this, that really follow Christian YouTube at this current moment, churches where there is preaching that is like this, but at the end of the day, it's still something that, whether we disagree or not, I do think that the most important thing that we want to do is be unified, right? No matter if we disagree or if we don't agree with what each other is saying, we want to be unified. And so I want to speak this message out today, and that is going to be the start of a series on my channel that I'm going to call Unity, aka Movement of Unity, which is going to be basically, I'm basically going to be starting the message with this. Notice that a lot of us, as Christians, are very, very ununified, and whether that would go through religion, whether that would go through opinions, whether that would go through just moral values, right, or just how we feel in terms of what the Bible says or how we move in life, whether we even agree with how we're moving ourselves or not, right? So what I want to say today is, there are a lot of Christians that believe, with the authority that they have, they really do speak down on other people. I genuinely believe, in terms of the decisions that they're making, in terms of the things that they're doing, people that they don't actually really know or would never put themselves in that person's situation to really be with that person through that situation, I just believe that there is so much, I guess, slander is what I'm seeing a lot of. A lot of us are slandering each other, and I noticed that this comes within preaching, right? A preacher may come and look at, not look at a person, but may speak a message saying, how are you doing this? You're doing this, but you're doing that at the same time, or you're this, why are you doing this? You're spending your money like this, you're making this decision, so, or you're not brave enough to do this, so you're not Kingdom, or you're not a true Christian, you're a soft Christian, you're soft, you're this and that and the third. And I just want to say, listen, whether some of the stuff that you're saying about that person or not is true, whether some of the stuff that you're saying about that person, it has actual, importance and value to it, I don't think that it's going to actually help that person. I don't think it's actually going to unify. One thing that I will say is, there is a lot of people that they will go to watch Christian YouTube and not specifically go to a person that they may know, because they may feel that they don't have anybody, or not go to a person that they may actually be around, and they'll go to Christian YouTube trying to figure out these things, and the first thing that they may hear about is a person that is saying that you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. One thing that I will say as a flawed teenager is, I've gotten a major amount of anxiety, and not actually, like, I've gotten things where I felt like, a preacher will tell me, hey man, listen, you got to do this, you got to, you've got to, make this decision, or else you're not a real Christian, you got to, or how are you going to do this, or how are you doing this but you're doing that, or you got to listen to what God has to say to you, and not make your own decisions, and you have to. And it's gotten me major anxiety as a Christian, trying to figure out what is the right thing to do and how to do the right thing all of the time. Because I've looked at so many different preachers who feel, they have this big authority to be able to speak over other people's lives. And then it ends up being a thing where, I or other people that may be going through different things that those other preachers don't really understand, it may end up being a thing where it's virtual Christianity. People may end up getting anxiety, like, dang, what if I fail? What if, like, because I'm doing this wrong, I fail, because they're being told what to do, not being helped in what to do. You get what I'm saying? So it's not that it's impossible, but one thing that I believe we as human beings, especially people that may be, selfish, or may disagree with what you're saying as a preacher, they may disagree, they may be like, no, regardless if that's right, I'm not doing that. I don't feel like doing that. That sucks. I don't want to, maybe it's like, I don't care enough. I don't really care to do that. Listen, that same person that feels that way, if you're telling them what to do, or if you're telling them what's the right thing to do, that person is not really going to be, I don't really think that person is going to hear the message out. I don't really think that person is going to be changed. And we hear so many Christians nowadays, right? I got some water with me too, but this is what I really want to get through. We have so many Christians that are out here saying, okay, those are the soft Christians, and we are the strong Christians. You know, these are the, listen, I've heard the term gummy bear Christianity, right? And it's just something that, it's not that I'm over here to bash anybody that may use that term, or I'm not here to speak against anybody, or, you know, again, this isn't me here like being like, oh, no, how dare you say this about me or other Christians, you know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you say that these people are soft and you're so, what do you, no, but I believe, okay, if you believe that a person is so, number one, it's not your job to judge people, is what I'm going to say. Number one, it's not your job to judge people. It is our job to be unified in helping others that we may feel are making the wrong decisions when they come to us. It is our job to unify. Or if you do see a person that really you feel does need assistance, does need help, it is our job to unify as Christians. It is our job to unify, not judge each other. That's God's job. Our job is to unify as Christians. Our job is to unify and be together to help each other grow and walk with each other, not judge each other. That's not our job, and it's not going to make a difference. That's a piece of why I believe that the world is really going through what it's going through now, is that, like, just in terms of, you know, there's so many people that they don't even, like, they feel like they're not even, like, worth it, yo. They feel like they're not even worth it because they've never had nobody to actually talk to them, put themselves in that person's situation, and actually be there for them. So they feel like they're not worth it regardless, or their situation is too tough. And I know that God is always there for them, but and God is always there. God is always there with your situation within. He also places people into your life to be there for you. And this is why I believe that virtual Christianity is becoming a problem. There are so many people that look at these messages and they hear you got to do this, that, and the third, and it's like, okay, easier said than done, but are you really going to help that person? Are you really going to be there for that person when you judge that person who's in that situation or may not agree? There may be a person that really is in a different mind state where it's like, no, I don't care about Christianity. I don't care, you know, all this stuff doesn't even matter to me. I don't care about none of it. You know, none of it even, who cares? Like, what's the point? Like, I mean, life is life. I don't care what it is. And then it's like that same preacher that they'll hear on the screen will be telling them you got to do this, that, and the third, and they're not going to do it, nor are they going to pay attention to it. You know why? A big reason is because they ain't have no Christians that were really there for them and really walked with them within their lives. They were really there to be with them and really be there. There's nothing weak about us all being together in unity. There's nothing weak about that. Not to say that human beings shouldn't be you shouldn't be able to be individuals, but we have to help mold each other. You know what I'm saying? We have to help us. We have to be together in unity. You know, the importance of unity. This is the movement of unity. We have to not judge each other. We have to be there for each other. So let me just ask this: that same person that's saying, like, you know, oh, I think that's a B. Oh, that same person that will say, freaking, you're not doing this right, you gotta do this, or you gotta even with the little things, you gotta read your Bible, you gotta get into doing this, you gotta start doing that, you know, you gotta start fasting, you gotta start you gotta start making these decisions here. Now, are you really gonna help that person do that? Are you really gonna help that? You're gonna tell that person what to do? You're gonna tell that person you're gonna call that person soft, gummy bear, however you want to describe it. You're going to call this person those types of things. And again, this isn't a bashing video. I just wanted to just genuinely within my heart and within my spirit, this is what I feel and this is what I want to stand up for. Unity and no longer judgment, because judgment isn't getting us anywhere. And it's going to, the more you call those other Christians soft, the more they're going to be quote unquote soft to you, because you're not actually being there for them in the situations that may be making them be that way, you know, because they may not have the actual, and this goes for people that are like just different categories, I guess, like homosexual people, right? Like, you may hear like so many Christians will say, hey, why, like, you're this way, this is sinful, this is wrong, this, that, and the third. I just want to say that saying that and calling a person these different things and saying this person is this, that, and the third, saying that they're, hey, you need to stop this, you're sinful, you're going against God's word, you're going against what God says, you know, you're a soft Christian. The more that you go and look at a person and tell them that they're all of these things, the less that they're going to be obligated or want to do what you're telling them to do. So I just want to say, again, we have to be unified. When we're unified, when we're actually growing together, you know what I'm saying? We have to be more unified is all that I really want to say. If you're going to put yourself in the position where you're going to judge some of these people, because I understand when it comes to speaking out messages and bringing out, hey, because I know it's like when it comes to messages, it's not like you're directly looking at a person and saying, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. You know, but you do come for people, or you step on people's toes, or I'm gonna come for you because you do this and that and the third. I'm gonna come for you. I'm gonna come for this thousands of people because you're preaching, and you know, you come for all these different people, and it's like, okay, but what are you gonna do? What are you going to do to help those? What are you going to do in understanding their perspective? What are you going to do? Or is it really just that much not about how they feel? Because again, the more that we speak these things out, the more that these people that are quote unquote weak are going to be that way. Because there's no Christians that are actually there for them to help them in their situation and help them understand the gospel, help them to actually see through the vision, you know? And it's like, that's a tough thing, but you know, again, you gotta say, like, you know, shoot, there are certain things that I will look at a person and it's like, I could easily look at them and start, you know, judging them, or I could easily look at them and say, why are you doing this? What the heck? How do you feel this way? How do you have this or that and the third? Like, I mean, I don't, so how do you? There's obviously something wrong with that. When it's like, at the end of the day, if I do that, it's gonna make things worse. Make a person feel more judged, you know? Make them feel even worse about themselves. Be there for them, yo. You gotta be there to understand, or at least try to. Not saying you have to understand their perspective, or not saying you have to like know everything that has developed their perspective, but try to understand. The first step is trying to understand the person's flaws. Like being open to it. The more that you're open to it, the more that person feels, okay, a change can be made. Because this person is over here really sitting here willing to be placed inside of my perspective, really being out here placed, like really putting themselves in this position to help me out. There is hope. You know what I'm saying? There is hope. I'm not just being told what to do. I'm like, my hurt is being understood. Oh shoot, that's a huge one. That boy is huge. Oh Lord help me, Lord help me, Lord help me. Oh Lord help me, Lord help me. I don't know, I'm not good with like stuff that fly around, like when it comes to bees or wasps and stuff. That was all that I really wanted to say for this message. The first message on the series of unity is that we have to be unified. We have to stop judging each other, because that's not our job. Our job isn't to judge each other, you know what I'm saying? And you can't say, you know, a person is coming also to the church. You can't say, right, that a person is going to the church in order to be open to those kinds of judgments, you know what I'm saying? But I just do genuinely believe that those kind of judgments, even if we're here to be open to them now, I don't think that they're making the impact that we think that they are. I don't think that us telling people what they're doing wrong, regardless, you know what I'm saying, us telling people what they're doing wrong in the churches, in the wherever you preach, us saying what to do, what right. It's good to say what right to do, right? It's good to say what is right to do. But the thing is, once a person can understand that, there's some people that genuinely, they may disagree with you. They may not agree. And the thing is, I know you can't help everybody, but if a person is coming to your church and they disagree with what you're saying, or they may, on their perspective, there's a reason why they're not doing these things that you're talking about, then you can actually open yourself up to their perspective and actually, you know what I'm saying, be there for them in them situations. You know, we have to be, again, I just genuinely believe we have to be unified. There's so many people that will go to church and go back home and feel so alone. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they just got told all these messages that they don't know how to fully, ground themselves in, because they don't have people there to help them. You know what I'm saying? And they feel like it's hopeless because they don't. And this is why God places people in our lives to help us. But however, are you going to be that person to help them, or are you going to be that person to judge them? That goes for in person or virtually. Just because you're virtual doesn't mean that you can't try to be open to how people can be, or how people are, or why they're in that position. You know, because they could be so closed off to your perspective, and the reason is because you're so different from them. They feel like you're so different from me to the point where you can't tell me nothing, because you're a completely different perspective. Your circumstances, your gender, the way that you look, your income, your status is completely different from mine, so you can't tell me nothing, right? You can prove them wrong from that. You know that, right? You can actually, I'm just saying, you can actually, as a preacher, like, be able to sit down and ground yourself in that position of relatability. Those were some of the things, even from, like, non-Christians within my life. Some of the non-Christians that really were, like, relatable, really placed relatability, you know, really said things like, you know, oh, I understand, man, listen, just, like, keep strong, you know, not telling them, like, hey, stop doing that, but saying, keep strong, keep faithful, keep, like, you know, I understand that there's a situation and I get it, I've been there, or if you haven't, just say, I understand, I want to understand more about it. And it's like actually being there to, again, just sit there and put yourself at that person's low. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself at that person's low, really being there to be at that person's low. Is that too much for you to ask? Because guess what? That doesn't mean that you have to give them a bunch of money. That doesn't mean that you have to freaking give them every hour of your day. No, but even if you're going to be preaching messages, just, you know, just do that. Just, you know, sit there and try to understand those that may be impoverished, those that may be hateful, those that may be in sin, maybe living in sin. Try to understand there are people like that are watching your preaching if you are popular, or even just to not, like, if you're going to preach, there will likely be sinners that come and are able to watch this stuff. And it's like, just at that point, try to sit down and understand, hey, like, I understand that, you know, and I've been, and try, don't be ashamed of your past, you know, place your past out there so that there's an understanding here. The more that there's an understanding, the less that it's like, oh, okay, these people are sinners and these people are the real true Christians. I just see so much of that stuff and I just don't like it. I don't like that kind of stuff. True Christian versus sinners. And there's always going to be those people that are and there's going to be those people are going to judge me all the time. People are always going to, like, always being like, those people go that way and I go this way. No, how about we try to do this? Just try. Just try. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to, you know, judge nobody. I'm not here to condemn nobody. That's not my job. That's not, well, like, or convict or anything like that. That's not my job. I mean, I'm not condemning nobody at all, no. But, I mean, in terms of just telling or saying or judging anybody, no. I'm just trying to say that maybe if we tried to do this. I understand it can be difficult. I can try, maybe, let me try to do this perspective for a second, too, though, real quick. I understand it may be difficult. It could be difficult for some people to do that. I mean, to be honest, I believe that it's very possible. You know what I'm saying? I just think that a lot of people don't think about this. I don't think that a lot of people really think about this kind of thing, you know? In terms of it being a real struggle, I understand if you may feel like you've come up or you've been through so much to the point where nobody can tell you nothing, or, you know, oh, I'm speaking in the spirit. So, you know, everybody else tells me God is my witness, you know, and I'm not saying that that's not even true, but I just feel like some of it, yes, you're speaking in the spirit. Now help those other people that you're saying aren't speaking in the spirit or they're not working in the spirit. Help those other people to try to do that, because there are people that, you know, will get upset with what you say, but try to work around that, because I really just do. I care a lot about people, and I think that if we, again, I'm talking a lot, but if we tried that, and just by putting ourselves in their perspective, put ourselves at their level of low, to be back to our, to bring them up with us. That could be masses. That could be groups of people. That just comes with understanding and unity. You know, being accepted and not being judged for what you do or who you are. You know what I'm saying? At that moment. That's all. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world. But guess what? None of it is going to change if we judge each other. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to change if we judge each other. And that's the thing for me. You know, it's not going to change if we judge each other at all. Frick you, why would you do this? Da-da-da-da. It's not going to change. Sometimes you got to do that, you know, to defend yourself. I do believe that. But it's not going to change. That's all I'm going to say, really. It's not going to change, you know? Judge that person and they're not going to change. Because you don't get them. Nor did you even try. And that's all that I really have got to say for this message today. This was an incredibly long one. This was like this was 20 minutes long. But I was just, you know, I really wanted to put this out there. I'm glad that I got to speak this today. Big message. And just, yeah. Thank you for watching. God bless you. I appreciate you, and I thank you for everything that you do by watching this channel. And you have an amazing and blessed day in Jesus' name. I need a word of encouragement from the Lord. Oh, see ya. I need a word of encouragement from the Lord. Okay, I need a word of encouragement from the Lord. Okay, I need a word of encouragement from the Lord. Oh, I need a word of encouragement from the Lord. Hey, I need a word of encouragement from the Lord. Oh, I need a word of encouragement from the Lord. Okay, I need a word of encouragement. Listen, Lord, let's go. I need a word of encouragement, feeling stuck in the dirt. I need a word of encouragement because I'm hurt.